Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're doing something a little bit different. We are stepping right into an alternate reality to examine the massive legacy of arguably one of the most beloved sitcoms in television history. We're diving into the one where the ending changed.
I want you to think back to that iconic final scene. Now, what if that final episode ended completely differently? Just imagine it for a second. No keys left sitting on that kitchen counter, no lingering shot of that famously empty purple apartment, no one last look down the hallway. What if, in a single, split-second moment, literally everything changed? How would that totally alter the way we remember the entire show?
Section 1. The original ending, a foundation of growth.
For a whole decade, millions of us tuned in to watch these six friends navigate love, tough careers, and just endless cups of coffee, right? They really felt like family. But to understand how things could have changed, let's quickly reestablish our baseline. So in the real finale, Rachel gets off the plane for Ross. Monica and Chandler actually pack up and take the twins to the suburbs. Phoebe and Mike start their new life together, and Joey stays close by. And of course, that iconic apartment is finally left behind. The absolutely crucial takeaway here: this real ending was built entirely around forward movement. Everyone found a brand new chapter. But hey, what if the writers had made some entirely different choices?
Section 2. Rachel's alternate reality, ambition versus love.
Okay, let's dive into this first major disruption. Imagine Rachel actually boards that plane to Paris, and she never gets off. Ross rushes to the airport, he delivers this big, sweeping confession, but ultimately he just watches helplessly as she departs. For the very first time, they don't get that neat little fairy tale conclusion. Rachel pursues the massive fashion career she'd literally spent years working for, while Ross stays behind in New York. I know, it's pretty heartbreaking to think about, right? But honestly, it realistically addresses her long-running struggle between love and her own ambition. It sends a pretty bold message. Sometimes, true growth means moving forward, even when it really hurts.
Section 3. The apartment stays. The cost of nostalgia.
Let's shift our focus to the physical heart of the show. What if Monica, Chandler, and the twins just stayed in the city? Almost every major moment happened right there. First kisses, terrible breakups, ridiculous Thanksgiving disasters. Imagine the apartment remains the ultimate gathering place, and years later, the six friends are still meeting there every single week. It sounds perfectly comforting and nostalgic, doesn't it? But here's the sharp reality. Keeping the apartment would have severely weakened the finale's emotional inevitability. When Monica and Chandler moved away, it symbolized adulthood. It meant life was changing. Endings matter precisely because things don't stay the same forever.
Section 4. Joey's Hollywood dream. Perseverance pays off.
Now let's talk about Joey, the character whose future was arguably the most uncertain out of the whole group. What if he finally achieved the giant dream he'd been chasing for 10 solid seasons? Picture him landing a massive, career-defining Hollywood movie role. Step 1, booking the role. Step 2, he physically steps into his future by packing up and leaving New York for Los Angeles. After literally countless auditions, brutal setbacks, and intense disappointments, his perseverance finally brings him undeniable success. When you map out that journey, you kind of realize this Hollywood ending might have actually been his most defining, satisfying conclusion.
Section 5. Why stories need change. The ultimate what if.
So this brings us to the biggest question yet. What if the six friends never separated at all, and life just continued exactly as before? Sure, it sounds super comforting, but here is the sharp truth. Stories need change. Without change, there is no ending, and without an ending, there is absolutely zero emotional payoff. The finale remains so memorable because it acknowledged a really universal truth. Life moves forward. Friends get married. People relocate. Careers evolve. The show wasn't actually about staying together in the exact same spot forever. It was about appreciating the time you have together before life inevitably moves on to the next phase.
Now imagine one final, theoretical reunion. It's years after the finale, and all six friends gather at Central Perk. Ross and Rachel are older, Monica and Chandler's children are completely grown up, Phoebe remains wonderfully unpredictable, of course, and Joey is still making everyone laugh. For a fleeting moment, sitting exactly where it all started, nothing seems different. But then they look around and realize just how much life has actually changed. And the beautiful part is, it changed not because they lost their friendship, but because they actively carried it through every single new stage of their lives.
And this brilliantly illustrates a core truth. True friendship isn't measured by how often people are in the exact same room. It's measured by the bond that survives, even when life takes everyone in entirely different directions. This proves exactly why the original finale's painful goodbyes were so completely necessary. The apartment emptied out, sure, but the friendships remained fully intact. That is what makes saying goodbye so emotional. Not because everything is ending, but because everyone is beginning something completely new.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final thought to chew on. If you could change just one thing about that finale, what would it be? Would you keep Rachel on that plane to Paris? Would you send Joey off to Hollywood? Or would you leave that unforgettable ending exactly as it is? Whatever your answer is, one thing's for sure. Decades later, we are still talking about that final goodbye. And that right there is the mark of a truly unforgettable ending. Thanks so much for exploring this alternate universe with me.